Hello, welcome back to the Alliance Tournament. I am CCP Rise, and I'm replacing CCP Fozzie, and with me I have Bach and Alien coming in for Elise Randolph. Bach, why don't you tell us about what we have on the field?
Hey, good afternoon, guys. We have a Rote Kapelle team and a SCUM team sitting awfully close to one another. They came in at a pretty acute angle. They did come in at range. We have a triple Sleipnir setup: Scimitar, 2 Celestis, 3 Heretic, 2 Mollis, and a Kitsune for SCUM. And Rote Kapelle are bringing out a double Armageddon, double Eos, Onero, double Heretic, triple Talwar, double Kestrel setup. So we're going to see a very quick support war here with a lot of small ships and an interesting matchup between these Sleipnirs and 2 Geddons and 2 Eos.
Yeah, and if you guys weren't around last weekend, just to jog your memory a bit, this is almost exactly the same setup for Rote that they had last weekend. They've changed a little bit with their support, swapped out a Celestis for these Heretics, basically. SCUM, on the other hand, were in a really bizarre match where they had a couple Nightmares, I believe. They ended up winning after the match went to time, and they won kind of in the super tie-dye mode afterwards. So they've switched things up quite a bit by going to these Sleipnirs.
And underway, it looks like I see Damps going across the field both ways yet. No drones launched. And now we go some drones from the SCUM side. Augmented Berserkers. Interestingly, have a Heretic, SCUM Heretic pulling off by himself.
Kitsune down almost immediately for the SCUM team, taken off the field really quickly, probably by those Talwars. Heretic taking some damage on Rote Kapelle along with the Talwar. So many Damps on the field, you can see there's, like you said, a huge support war going on here to figure out who will get control of just being able to lock.
Yeah, we have a Mollis down, a Celestis into armor. Meanwhile, the Rote Kapelle Talwar is into armor as well. Heretic Ruri Hoshino stripped of shields, but holding up. That Celestis is losing armor little by little. His shields are coming back, though.
Yep, looks like going to go for those Celestis next, and they're making really good progress. He is boosting back, getting reps from the Scimitar, but it looks like they're breaking him. He is, taking another big chunk of structure damage there. He'll probably be going down in just a second. In the meantime, Carrie's taking a lot of damage as well.
Yep, Mollis off the field.
Or
yep.
Mollis, sorry, yeah.
And a Talwar now, taking into very low armor. We'll see if the repairs get on that fast enough. A Heretic for SCUM as well. Strip of shields, half armor. Celestis into low armor as well. Now the Scimitar also taking damage. Heretic into structure and off the field. Celestis short to follow. Soon to follow, I should say. And the Talwar follows him as well.
Yeah, and you can see now at the beginning of the match there was Damps across both teams pretty evenly, at least just in terms of number applied. But by now, Rote has a complete lock on the E-War battle. They've gotten the Celestis out of the way, they've gotten the Mollis out of the way, and now those Sleipnirs are going to really struggle to get anything done.
Yeah, it doesn't look like NR is having a whole lot of trouble keeping repairs on Ruri Hoshino's Heretic there. Neoneros is doing a good job. We have Phil's, with a name I'm not going to try to pronounce. Phil on the SCUM team, Scimitar is holding up, taking a little bit of damage. Hasn't used his ASB yet, probably because doesn't want to waste a cycle. But both Sleipnirs we see taking a little bit of damage. Galaoth seems to be the primary target at this point.
I don't know if you guys were able to see that yet, but one of the SCUM Sleipnirs, piloted by Zacharias, actually just used one of the MJD beacons, or his own MJD. One way or another, he just jumped across the field and got free of that kind of fight down in the middle. But while that's happening, he lost one of his friends in the other Sleipnir, which did actually go down. So SCUM getting beaten up pretty bad here by Rote.
Yeah, and the Scimitar now into armor. This is a pretty effective setup from Rote Kapelle, very well executed. I know talking to Tyrus this morning, the Rote Kapelle captain, he was saying that he had quite a few setups at his disposal today to use, and he really didn't know which one he was going to use. So I am surprised to see them bring basically what you said, a rehash of last week's setup.
And a rehash of what they relied on a lot in the last Alliance tournament as well. They really, really love these Armageddon setups, and it seems like the thing they're most comfortable with. I wonder if they'll be able to get away from that at some point and try something completely different, because eventually people are going to start expecting this if they just keep bringing it.
Well, and maybe that's the mind game, the meta they're playing. You know, Fozzie even called it out as a very standard Rote Kapelle cap warfare setup. So why not play into that? And first 2 weekends you don't show anything of your hand, and you get into the last weekend with all your setups still hidden. So.
And while we're babbling, everything else is dead on the SCUM side except for these 2 Sleipnirs that did MJD away from the middle of the fight there. I don't know if Rote will come out after them. It looks like for now they're not really bothering and just keeping them damped out while they collect loot. They'll probably come after them eventually, I guess, or MJD towards them, using those beacons pretty soon. But that's why they're not taking damage.
Whoa, did one just boundary violate?
Yes, absolutely. Boundary violation for one. We'll see if the other does us the service of following his friend.
Oh, no, he's turning around.
I'm not sure if the first one may have been. He's sitting right next to an MJD beacon, so it could have been that he activated it again.
Yeah.
Not that there's much he can do in the match by staying on the field, but
that is something we saw happen last week, where someone was at 0 velocity activating an MJD beacon, which kind of leaves you not knowing where you're going to land. And in
Yeah.
fact, in that match, it actually cost them the match. It was a Paladin, very end of the match. They were way ahead. Paladin, Mike Drew drop dives out of the arena, dies, and loses the match for him. So,
And I don't know what Rote's gonna like. They still have so much time. I have to imagine they'll come out and kill this guy eventually. But you know, if you guys are new to watching the tournament, this is of course all on Tranquility. So the assets do matter, which is partly why Rote might be motivated to loot stuff on the field. It's also why sometimes at the end of a match, a pilot will try and just do whatever he can to keep the ship alive, because you know there's a few 100 million SCUM that this guy can save if he doesn't let them kill his Slipner before the time goes all the way to 0. So that is something to keep in mind. But it looks like now Rote is heading down here. At least, well, I don't know. They're kind of just chilling.
yeah, it's hard to account for what they're doing. I mean, all I see left on the field are light shield maintenance white bot 1s and some EC300s. I can't imagine we're that hard up for cash, considering how much I know I personally put into the fund. So I don't know what they're doing. Hanging out right now, having a good time, I guess.
Yeah, it's kind of strange. I mean, the Geddons, of course, are really slow. It would take them a while to get down there. Same with the EOSs, but they have these MJD beacons everywhere. Another thing maybe we could mention, if you guys are just tuning in now, this tournament does have a cube of deployable micro jump drive structures that any of the ships in the match can use. And so you'll see that at least some can cause problems, of course, because they're not in the center of the arena. You can jump yourself outside and get blown up from boundary violation. But I don't know. Rote doesn't seem interested in using them right here.
Local, actually, we're saying we're not going to try to chase you down. We're too slow. We're not going to throw away support to you. But you guys, just white flag, or if you want to fly the Scimitar or the Sleipnir over to us, we'd be happy to blow it up.
Yeah, but again, why would he do that? He can hang on to some ISK if he just keeps it alive.
Well, you know, for honorability and such. I mean, at this point, this is
Honorability.
just watching damps across the field. Well, of course, SCUM are a very honorable organization, are they
not? So let's see what this local negotiation comes to. I don't know if we can actually call the match for them. I suppose we could, but
I think you'd need both captains to agree, and I don't know if the SCUM guy. I don't know. I don't know who the SCUM captain is actually, if he's even on the field right now.
One of the Rote Geddons promising not to use his newts if he comes in, trying to offer him some kind of fair agreement.
So a fun story about that Geddon pilot. That was actually the Rote pilot who had to go to his next door neighbor and kindly ask that he shut off his wood chipper because he could not hear anything on Rote TeamSpeak. So that was an amusing story about that pilot, just to kill some time.
Wow. He can now happily go over and tell him that
yeah, it worked.
Clear communication earned him a video game victory.
Is now burning into range to let himself die finally.
Yes.
See geckos from the Rote Kapelle team coming out to meet him.
Yep, along with some missiles from those heretics. What do you think about heretics? We've seen quite a few of those around. I saw some people in Twitch chat asking why there would be interdictors in the Alliance tournament, since of course bubbles don't matter and can't be used. But why are we seeing so many of those?
Well, heretics are the new Saber, I think. With the range on those missiles, the light missiles have such a they're so good at taking out frigate support, and we've seen the frigate support war matters so much. In this fight was a good example. You had the frigate E-war, and the heretics just absolutely shred frigates. So they're a great ship for the points. And honestly, we saw the same thing with Sabers in the last Alliance tournament. The meta shifted a little bit with the missile changes and such. So heretics the way to go now.
Cool. And this guy is finally going to go down. Zacharias past his shields now, heading into structure, choosing the most honorability route, I guess, finally, and turning back towards the match.
And there he goes. Congratulations to Rote Kapelle, staying in the winner's bracket with their second win.
Yep, nice job. We'll be back in a few, guys.